go home.
All
All
right,
right,
so
so
that's
that's
10
10
o'clock.
o'clock.
My boss says I can go,
Well
then
done.
you all can go.
Well
We
done.
call the boss now. Your message, boss.
All right, so we've got EZZIE, who's representing CDC. He's the marketing officer. We've got RODNEY Small, and we've got BOMANI as well. And they are both members of the CCI unit, Creative and Cultural Industries, within the governmental civil Sunny Grenadines. So, you know, yeah, like what you are saying, you know. Okay, so we left off on speaking about the entertainers, right? And you were talking about some of the elements that we should be looking at as entertainers. So social media, your press kit, your website, passport, a simple thing as a passport. I notice when you look at some of our artists, like when you watch them regular, you have to question, like, are they really artists? Or like, why don't our artists take the career or their career seriously as entertainers? Sometimes you have to question, are they really serious about becoming entertainers? And that's a conversation that has a lot of different yeah, a lot of moving parts. So maybe we could start on personal. Why do you think that some artists do not take their career seriously?
I will start out by saying that I believe some of the artists don't really look at themselves as artists, or they're not even conscious that they are artists, because some person may start singing just as a by the way thing. Because somebody give them a song, or they wrote a song, they go to a studio and they record it. But even at that point in time, they're still not looking at themselves as an artist. They just record a song and they're hoping that from that recording they get some airplay. That might take place, they start getting popular. And still, even at that point, some people still not looking at themselves as artists. You have a situation now where some person might be singing for 3, 4 years. I mean, by that time, you're supposed to already know, hey, yeah, I'm really an artist. I didn't start off seriously looking at myself as an artist, but this is reality today. So they should be able to make that adjustment about the way they carry themselves and the way they carry themselves and so on. Because that is part of the image, that is part of what you're selling as an artist. When people see you, how do you carry yourself while in the street? How do you carry yourself while at social gatherings? How do you carry yourself while on stage? Because there's a difference. Okay? And one of the things that I personally don't like to see is like an artist go to a venue or they town line all day today, and then they do a performance tonight, and they show up at the venue tonight, and I'm seeing you in the same place.
Don't tell me that. No.
It has happened repeatedly. I have seen it over and over. You know? So an artist needs to take along something. You have a performance to do. You're not going back home or whatever the case may be. At least take along something that you can make a change and you go on stage looking like an artist as opposed to doing your line casually. There's a difference. Okay? You have that professional look and so on. Artists also still have to be careful what they say and what they do. You know, while you're off stage, you're not just an artist when you're on stage. You have to be careful what you say on social media, how do you respond to certain things, what type of images you post on social media, and all these things will impact you as an artist. Some person might hear a song, for example, they from overseas, they don't know you, but they go online and they check you out. Everybody does that these days, they check you out. But when they see what you posting and your comments about certain things, they may change their mind and go on into high. So we have to be mindful about a lot of things as artists out there.
Well, I want to take a different direction. I mean, of course, I agree with a lot of what EZZIE say. For me, I'm someone who takes pride in looking good as an artist. But all that I didn't drop out this guy. I didn't wake up one day and know that it is important to look good and dress good. Right? You are into banking, Crystal.
Yes.
Right? What are some of the things you had to do before you go into banking?
As in before I got the job or before I started?
Before you get the job. You went into that career choice in terms of accounts and all that.
Well, I did accounting, mathematics. You have to have your basic English. You do your training, your customer service. After you speak well, and you get to know what the bank's principles, division and mission statements are, and so on. And then you go through your probation, and once you pass that, then you're good, right?
So I think we get the point that I'm making, right? A lot of artists come into the industry and don't treat it like how you would treat accounting or how you would treat management or how you would treat whatever other occupation there out there. Formal training is important. at whatever level, minimum, or just having a conversation is also important. We have a lot of artists who come into the industry. I mean, raw talent. I mean, it is identified, it is established. Persons are looking at you now, and they want to leave it there. I mean, the world is a small place now. I mean, information is easily accessible. Google anything and you'll find it.
But how would they know what to Google if they don't even know what it is?
Exactly. So then you're a part of an industry. You're coming to a world and you're not going to go do any sort of research. Even if you don't have a device or you don't have Wi-Fi or whatever it is, you can meet somebody who was doing it before you and ask a question. I want to start from there because I just asked you before you develop a love for accounting. Or before you went into accounting professionally, or before you start working at the bank, there's certain things that you would have done.
Prerequisites. Right? So you prepare yourself.
So when you leave school, right, with your 1 in CXC for accounts, so just use an example, I don't know if you got a 1 in a distinction, right? There's some personal stuff that you went ahead and did on your own, correct?
Right.
Exactly. So I'm saying, me knowing how to dress as an artist didn't fall out the sky. I had to go and ask questions. I had to go and look at people. People who have been doing it before me, right? Sit down and talk to people, or sit down and just listen. Associate yourself, be in the circle. We have some artists now, and I don't want us to feel we're talking about carnival artists or just performing artists. I'm talking about creatives who isolate themselves so much from an industry. It has someone who I know is artists, and you never see them come into a circle where a group of established musicians or artists are having a conversation and ask a question. I was fronting. I am still fronting.
Not every artist fronting like you.
No, but you see, but
and there are some artists who are introverted.
Yeah. But okay.
Who just love to create music, but they just don't like to socialize.
But then how do we know what we're creating?
Well, I want to pull out a little bit even further from that. I think we have created, and when I say we, I mean collectively as a society, limits as to how far a local artist, the majority of whom start in their own neighborhood, on their own blocks, on their own community, where there are very little examples for them to see when they're just starting out as to how you should portray yourself as an artist. First and foremost, the society tells us that the serious professions, you are excluded from that. So if you're a singer, you're not an engineer, doctor, lawyer, police. So you're starting from there, behind the 8 ball. Then you have to make your way now, navigate the whole system to find a space that you can operate your business or your talent from. And that space is confined to, this is how far you can go. This doesn't apply to everybody. We have examples of people who have transcended that and who then they did their own research, and you know what I mean, they're passionate about it enough to go further than the limits that the society set on them. But generally speaking, that's where most people come from. You find your way through the system. There were very little opportunities for learning at your beginning stage. So I couldn't go, and when I was just starting out, there was no art school. There was no place that I could go to say, well, I should dress this way, or I should speak this way, or I could, you know what I mean? So we had to navigate it that way. And when you get to a certain stage now, and you realize, we're talking about being export ready, you get to a certain stage and you realize that, this thing is possible. It's possible that somebody sitting in the United Kingdom can hear my music, but I'm not ready to perform for that person in the United Kingdom because I came to a system that didn't really prepare me for that. Mm-hmm. So the first time I'm getting to go somewhere, I find myself not being up to standard of the other people who've been exposed at the beginning stages of their career. So I think we have to begin the conversation after where we're starting, what structures we can erect to create a conduit for persons to be trained properly at the beginning of their careers, for them to be guided, for the industry to be accepted as a contributing part of social and economic development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, so we can have access to everything that everybody else has access to, loans, financial support, access to grants and all these things that make other businesses work, so that people can begin to see examples of, okay, if I'm choosing to become a rapper, these are the things I need to do, these are the facilities that are available, this is the image I need to create, and this is the path I need to walk.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but you see, again, I beg to differ with some of what was mentioned though, because I was when I made no not beg to differ when I made the comment, I made it based off of what is happening now. I did all pass and something will pop up with a master class free online. You understand? Back then I don't want to sound old, but back then we didn't have all that we have now in terms of what is available online.
Online,
Now,
right.
what's happening here in terms of structures and mechanism is another conversation. That's why we have some stuff that we're trying to do in the Department of Culture, as we want to say. You know what I mean? But a lot of us, as we want to say, came through some kind of situations and we're still here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you now, right? All of these fancy things that we're talking about, social media management, where can we go right now? What is in place right now in terms of support for the artists who are interested in bettering their craft? Where can we go to get all of this information?
Well, as I said off air, the Department of Culture, we're going to launch a project, program, whatever you want to call it, called Getting Back to Work. Right? It's very practical. One of the activities under Getting Back to Work is open doors. Right? Because we've been doing a lot of seminars and workshops, and we realize that, I mean, our creatives, our practitioners are fed up of the talk.
Yeah, you can say that again.
A lot of them really don't even talk when they come to the seminar. So open doors is a thing where you come to the department, specifically the CCI unit, and we find experts to sit and talk with you with some of the challenges you are having and how can
Rodney, I don't think by now we know what the challenges are.
No, different, and you might be surprised,
Yeah,
Crystal, different
different
people have different challenges, and in fact, there's some people who are having some challenges who would never make it known.
Okay, so these are individual, it's like a one-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-one. So Crystal, you come and talk with me. You know what I mean? Because you would not want to put in a forum. Here we're going on, boy, I have all these ideas, but I don't have no money in my bank account. How can you help me get some funding? Or where can you guide me to get some funding? Crash, artists, we're creative, we're full of pride. Me not gonna make you know I am Brooks. As much as I could make you look like I'm the richest artist in this country, I'm not going to make you know that I have a financial issue. But if you can come and sit down and trust the experts in front of you, in terms of letting you understand where and how we can guide you, you know what I mean, from a government standpoint or even from a private standpoint, because the experts are persons who have been living in the industry, who knows about the industry. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know about co-funding. A lot of people don't know about grant funding. A lot of people don't know how they can access it. Crystal, you would be surprised the amount, well, you know these things, you know what funding is out there. But when we send these funding opportunities to a lot of our artists, and when I say artists, I don't mean I don't want persons to think we're talking carnival artists or only performing artists. I'm talking about gospel artists. I'm talking about promoters. I'm talking about producers. I'm talking about people in culinary arts. I'm talking about everybody. But when you look at some of the requirements, BOMANI could testify that you need to apply for these funding. We don't have it. A lot of our artists don't have it. No,
you have to
you
have to be registered and stuff like that. And other people don't register their brand, they don't register anything, they just make it and they put it up there.
But not even that.
It's cheaper to just make and put out. Register 250, logo 250.
No, but that registration at 250 might bring you millions down the road.
Yeah, but we are still.
But if you don't have 250 to start, you get it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We need to have the conversation. And as an industry, we need I remember a consultant come here. I can't remember the year, but it was a good while. And that consultant, and not government, right? Government didn't bring the consultant. That consultant fees about 4,000 US. And I remember being in that seminar, and we were analyzing the industry, and the consultant came up and spent about 10 to 15 minutes telling us the problem with our industry is trust.
There we go.
Back on a plane the next morning with $4,000 in the pocket, US. We have to be able to trust the space that we operate in.
How can you, when every time you talk, somebody tries to badmind you, when you feel within the industry? Serious talk, man. Serious talk.
No, but
when
but-
people feel within the industry that they are not respected as artists, as Vincentian artists, especially coming from promoter side, you go to a show as an artist, you're young and upcoming, and they want to pay you next to nothing. That's one. Number two, you see, let's say maybe Marshall or some other artists come from overseas, and you see what they get it as opposed to what you have to beg for. You feel disrespected. How can you trust people like that? Come on, man.
Just to comment on that, at the end of the day, you as an artist,
Uh-huh.
you as a performing artist, you
Uh-huh.
have a choice. So if you know it's not aligning with your brand and your product,
You have to have a
Say
brand
no.
in the first place.
say no. Walk away from it.
Say no, and then what?
And
You
then
walk
what?
away, you don't
No.
get paid.
No, but that's why
You get bashed.
That's why you're going to, and you have to create, and it's something that I would always say personally. That's why you have to create a product that has a demand, that has a grab, that has a pull. That's why you have to have a catalog that you could walk away and tell a promoter no, and you don't feel bad about it. He feel bad because I would have added value to your event, and that is the problem. A lot of our artists, and again,
Both.
I spread it broad. We don't value what we have. We figure that, boy, yeah, I could go down here and sing for 150, and I go down here just go and sing for 200, and I go down barely, and just, you know what I mean? Like, you just groupie the thing, you just get
Again,
out
we
the
have
thing.
all the limits that we set on ourselves, right?
Uh-huh.
So, Cinemas on the ground against population is 110,000
10,000.
little bit. Well, that's not enough to field an artist, a community of 300-400. We can't absorb it. So we have to export, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to broaden your market. We have to broaden our market and broaden the possibilities for work. So even if I don't work here in St. Vincent and Grenadines, there are opportunities for me to work in St. Lucia or Grenada or the BVI or the United Kingdom. So because practically we can't absorb. We can't pay for everybody that's here in St. Vincent, and we just don't have the numbers. And that's one of the conversations that I think we should start with. When we're producing here, we shouldn't just limit ourselves to producing for here. We can produce for here, but that shouldn't be our the extent of our thinking. There's millions of possibilities around the world.
All right, hold on. We're gonna take a call right now. We lost. If you want to call us 457-1043, 430-1043 is the WhatsApp number.
Yeah, I want to just mention two things here before we go on. We spoke about the registration earlier on. Artists should try to get your work registered, okay? And also understanding the responsibility between the producer, the executive producer, the writer, the singer in the song, and make sure that whatever agreement is signed with the producer, they understand fully what they're getting into. We have situations where artists will go to a producer and they sign up an agreement, but at the end of the day, they are given their rights to the song and not even being aware of it. All they want to hear is that the song recorded, it's mixed and mastered, and it's on the radio. But really, when the song start making money, they realize, hey, I ain't getting money.
Right.
So you need to understand the business, understand your role, your responsibility, and what you should be getting into when you sign an agreement with a producer for your music. In terms of promoters and having shows and events, there's nothing wrong with any artist in this. Even if you're coming on for the first year, the second year, regardless how long you've been singing, for you to have a contract. Could be a basic contract. You could start off with a one-page document that you would take to whoever is going to hire you. So you know the date of your performance, how long you want me to sing for, etc. What would be the payment, what is the term, if it's 50% upfront and 50% on the night of the performance or whatever. You could put all of that into your document and present it to anybody who wants to hire you, regardless if it's a big promoter, small promoter, the CDC or whoever. You know, you should be able to present that. That is part of people starting respecting you and looking at you on a professional level. You could also have somebody who will be doing that for you. Rather than do the artist going out front and dealing with it. You could have somebody take care of that. If somebody contact you as the artist, I'm doing an event, I want to hire you. You say, okay, thanks for the call and stuff like that. You take the person number and say, well, you could either take the number and give it to your manager to call them back and say, well, somebody who's handling that for me.
Alright.
But having a manager is important, but the manager also needs to understand the industry and understand the business and be able to communicate with people well and stuff like that. But that too can affect the artist. So once you have all of that in place, then you can have somebody handling that for you. That is the beginning of you starting to prepare yourself for really taking it to the next level.
Do you have like scholarships for entertainers? Like Vinci Masterclass, you get sponsored for X amount of dollars. This is what we're gonna do for you for 1 year. We're gonna help you develop whatever. Put things in place for you. I don't know. Just a random question.
I don't know that we have no scholarships like that, but I think if somebody is interested in seeking help or funding to go and further their education, I mean, with this whole education revolution thing, I don't see the government saying no or turning you down from that. I mean, I've known of a situation that there's one or two institutions who is willing and who have helped artists to do training. Because I know one or two of us did events management, and then we did digital marketing. There is institutions who help to fund that. It's just that again, the artists you have to know what you want, and you have to know how to access it. You have to know how to talk to people. You have to know how to network. Because me, if I feel like if I want to go study something now, I mean, I start writing them letters to everybody who I think is a possible, somebody who would possibly help me to fund that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But artists need to be brave and bold, Crystal. I mean, I think we have this entitlement that we sit down and wait. Sit down and wait and a promoter to call us. Sit down and wait and a producer to call us. Sit down and wait and somebody from outside to call us. It don't work like that. I mean, as big as Skinny Fabulous is, as big as Marshall Montana is, as big as all those international Rihanna, you still see that they're maintaining. They're still doing some of the elements of the industry. Skinny still marketing, still branding. Rihanna still marketing, Rihanna still branding. Every day these people are thinking about how do I maintain, right? I mean, sometimes you just have to just put on your blinders and set goals, I mean, and work towards them. I mean, stop complaining.
Yeah, I want to follow up on something Rodney just mentioned there. I recall years ago, many persons recall the days when we had for Labor Day, for example, and Caribana in Canada. Promoters would call and book bands like Signal, Black Sand, Touch. It was a regular BOMANI was a part of a band that would tour every year. They go to Canada, England, the USA, and so on. These things have stopped, right? Because promoters now are looking to book persons who are within their zone. Okay, it's a cost-cutting measure.
Right.
Promoters want to make profits. So what used to happen even back in those days, sometimes we would hear of a tree band that is in the US or wherever. A lot of times, it's the management of the band or the management of the artist will book them to travel and spend time. If Labor Day time, for that a month period in New York is what you're required to do, go up there and stay in New York for a month, not for a promoter to take you. A lot of them buy their own ticket, provide your own accommodation, you have relative friends, you stay, even if you stay in a hotel or whatever, it's a business, okay? And once you're within that zone, the promoters will hire you because they're not responsible for bringing you to the market. And you don't want to be restricted by a particular promoter bringing you and give you a contract to say that you could only perform for him or her exclusively. So if you see your benefit to be there, if you're there on your own, then you could work for Tom, Dick, Harry, Jay, and everybody, and you take your bookings and you make your money. And this has been going on for a while, but how many of our artists really would be willing to do things like that? Book yourself to Trinidad Carnival is coming up, you start doing some. And just say, for example, it's not coming up, but just say, whichever carnival coming up, you make you make your push to get your PR and to get your songs popular, and also make yourself available physically being there, so that if art promoters want to hire you, you're on the ground. I mean, let me just use Union Island for example, or even Beckway for Easter weekend. I mean, bring it down, even for DJ, the number of parties taking place in Union, for example. Or what a DJ wants is say, well, let me book myself in Union, just like everybody else will call and book a guest house and book a flight to Union. And you contact the promoters and doing all the gigs and try to get on shows and stuff like that, rather than waiting for the promoter to call you. You know, sometimes you gotta make the extra step.
You gotta move forward.
Yeah.
Within the entertainment industry, I don't think that we are professional enough across the board. You would look at okay, from behind the scenes, one promoter will have a certain standard. So we like standard. One promoter will have a certain standard, another one will have a different one. That doesn't really help the entertainment industry. It doesn't help the entertainers, because if that is all they're seeing, what do we do? Who is responsible for setting a standard? Do we leave the responsibility with the promoters or the event managers? Do we leave the responsibility to the government? Do we leave the responsibility to the artists themselves? Who sets the standard?
Well, there are certain levels of promotion, and there are certain persons who consider themselves promoters who aren't really promoters, and they're people who actually produce events. So the highest standard, to my mind, are the events that are produced, promoted, where there's actual business going on. Then there are persons who are just trying to make some money. They're not really concerned with the standard of the presentation, or they're trying to sell some tickets. They have a book a place, they don't have any proper security, proper facilities, and so on and so forth. These things are not taken into consideration. So, although we throw around the word promoter rather loosely here, there are international, regional, and even local standards that persons, particularly in recent times, have come to expect from events that they attend, that are well produced, well promoted. I think that's a conversation that the promoters themselves will have to have among themselves as to what they consider to be the best standards and how you apply that across the board. And that can only enhance the industry when you utilize the services that are of a particular standard. It gives the product, the people get the best value for their money, and the consumers now would determine, well, what events they attend, right? You have some people who don't really like the fancy thing too much. They go to certain things and that's their vibe, but they're not necessarily exposed to other things and other possibilities and so on.
Oh, that's a shame though. I mean, you said promoters could come together. You really think promoters could come together? Hey guys, let's raise the standard in the industry.
But why? But why not? Why is it? And
if they have not done it as yet, I don't think that they're going to do it.
Who's leading?
Who is leading?
Yeah.
Who's leading? Who amongst the promoters are saying to themselves and to their colleagues that, you know, this is not good enough and we have to do better than this?
Why? Why would you say that to your colleague when your show is better produced so you could make more money?
You see, that's the problem. Crystal, that's the problem. And I said it earlier now. I said it earlier. It doesn't matter, and let me do a foolish stuff, and I'm going to be very frank and honest here. It doesn't matter what the government, the department, the promoters, any one of us try to do in the name of development, or the pretty things that we just talk about. And unless we understand that there's a piece of the cake for all of us, right? Unless we understand that we're all living in the same space as an industry. Let me tell you something here. Jamaica, I've lived in that industry. I studied in that industry for a while. They had a little riff, right? But you see, when it's time to come together to make a stance or make a case for the world that they live in, which is industry, entertainment, it's a hand fighting. But here in St. Vincent Crystal, I mean, it's just unfortunate. You mentioned it, the bad mind and the fight down is what is plaguing us. I don't care what you tell me.
So it's a cultural thing.
We would not. Well, I'm seeing it among the different circles that I just be in. We're seeing we would not see boy Crash having a DJ show as a DJ. I as a promoter or a producer, I have the understanding. You're going on Crash. I'm coming to give a strength. I remember Crystal, and I tell you, our society doesn't breed them things now. I remember I tried to sell a man a ticket for my show, and the man told me he's not buying the ticket. So I asked him why. He said, when your people start to support you, I don't support you. Crystal, I have students.
Pan people in supporting
No, just entertainment. I have students who say to me, Crystal, and they're extremely talented, that if that is the kind of fight all of this guy don't want to be a part of the industry, we have to be careful.
But if you want to see a change, you have to be the change. So be the change.
Crystal.
Yeah? It's ain't so easy, it ain't so easy.
But you know, so you know, ask how the people can go together.
Listen to me. I don't think we should make the mistake of thinking that our industry is unique in this regard. There's backstabbing and fighting in just about every
country.
industry you could think
So why
about.
does it hurt us
As a
so
matter
much?
of fact, because we are not regulated, and again going back, pulling out from the wider societal view of our particular industry, we will find these things are not being addressed in a particular way. But if you go into the we just use the financial industry for example, Wall Street. You see people jumping out of windows and all kind of thing. That's because you have problems there too.
Frustrating.
It's frustration and it's backstabbing and it's all of that. We have to understand that is a part of
the industry.
the existence.
Yeah, but when
and
it's
how
like-
do we push past that?
But when it's time to get down to
Together.
industry work, you have to set it aside.
You have to push past it.
We're an emotional set of
And
people.
how do we think
Catch
about
feelings too much,
how
huh?
do we think about who we are as entertainers? We have to begin to change mindsets. I could recall many years ago. I used to get this comment from just random persons, and it took me a while to understand where people were coming from. Perception becomes reality. So the perception was that the average artist was unintelligible, pretended to be from Jamaica, even though they never set foot in Jamaica.
Hold on, the
a lot
average
to do.
intelligent artist.
The average artist. I used to get this thing all the time. Somebody would say, "Oh, I heard you on the radio. You sound so articulate." Well, that to me was an insult because why shouldn't I be
Am I
articulate?
not
Because because I'm a calypsonian. I'm a soca. Because the perception out there is that once you're singing calypso,
They don't
You
expect
don't
to
see
be able
it.
to deliver like that.
don't see it.
and I can't blame persons for thinking that because that's how they were reared, right? Going back generations. We were not included in normal way of societal development, and it was always seen as something for persons of, I don't know, lesser quality.
If you don't have, if you're not book smart per se,
Right.
then you do something else like singing.
So that it's many arms that we have to try and pull together, but that's one of them. Changing the mindset and changing the perception of the industry that we're in.
We
That
have the
persons
money
could
for that.
understand. It doesn't require money. It requires
That sounds like
conversation.
an investment.
It requires
Mindset.
it requires consistent conversation, dialogue. It requires it's promotion, just like anything else. I have seen people spend money on things that, if they were not promoted properly, people think twice. Why did I buy that? You bought that because you were told to buy that.
Okay.
Just that Bomani mentioned something.
This is the final point because we're a while now.
It's that
Now
Bomani
we'll come
mentioned artists talking like Jamaica and it's something, and it happens. I hate to hear it.
I hate
They
to
come
hear it
on
and I don't
radio and they do
understand why.
interview and they dance, DJs and they dance and they playing and there's nothing that could turn me off and a DJ trying to talk like a Jamaican. Why is that necessary?
Why even
That's not necessary.
you
there's a
check out
DJ
how it is though.
Huh?
You're in a Vincentian society. You are appealing to Vincentians. Are you speaking like a Jamaican?
Someone that's never
Perception.
went to
What was the perception?
So the
The
perception
perception was
is
that
people would
if it's
gravitate
from
to-
Jamaica, it's
Oh.
better.
Again,
Right?
You know something, that is our fault too, because we quick to adopt other people's cultures and not promote our own.
But I want
We have a
to
call.
start
to be
Hold on, we have a
problem.
call.
I wanted to be.
We have a call. Hold on, Rodney. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Crypto, and the other gentleman there. Think you're the only lady there.
Yes, as usual, you know how it is.
You're on there with the lions, man.
I'm good now, I'm good.
Bomani,
Greetings.
I think I asked you a question already. Which of your songs you would consider your best song?
I think I answered you this question already. That's like asking me which of my children I would
I asked you already.
Listen, man. I have dozens and dozens of songs.
I know,
And they
I know you
all
got
serve a
dozens of
purpose in a particular time. I mean, that's so subjective. I really can't judge it. I can't judge it for myself like that.
But who did song
I
like
have
the
to
best?
leave that to other people to.
Alright, that's it.
Yeah, might not be the best
In
for somebody.
my opinion, soca.
I like them all.
The song with
Hold on.
soca, put yourself in order something.
I am Soka.
Yeah, I'm soca.
Oh, that's your choice.
That's your
My
favorite.
favorite, yeah. My favorite.
Wet.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wet.
Calypso is, I think, yeah, man, called Little or something.
There's a calypso, right?
Yeah, did you not think Little right?
Yeah.
But
Well, Brian, you supposed to know if it's Calypso Soca? You asking listener?
But because you cutting off, I couldn't. Yeah,
huge.
Yeah, Little is a beautiful.
Little is bad.
Yeah, Better Life is bad.
But,
I actually heard it yesterday already.
yeah, played once in a blue.
Okay, all right, thank you. All
Blessing.
right. We have another call coming in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Crystal. Morning to your team that you have here. Good morning.
Greetings.
What's up, brother? Everything good?
Not too bad at all.
Yeah, so the partner.
Blessings, good morning.
Let me ask you guys, you guys have anything to do with the show on Saturday night at Victoria Park?
Yes,
That's
you
cool,
know,
man.
but
Yeah, anything to do with it.
we actually touched on that first, so we don't go on off of that, you know.
Oh, well, I was listening all the time, so I didn't really have the time to really, come on that. But I just want to, the reason why I asked, I just want to commend the guy. That was a well-done show. It was real great. It was a good package. I was there because I had to go and give my daughter the support, and she was singing for Western George in the band section. And you guys, the show was real great. I listened to the Clipsonians and the youngsters and so forth, and it was a great package, well organized, and we need to have more of that, guys. And I just wanted to call it up here and to really, tell you guys that was a terrific job. If we as parents and people who go to these things don't give the support and show where it's okay, you guys would not even want to strike in. It was a well done show. I just want to commend you guys on that, yeah? And make it happen again for another time.
Yeah, man. Blessings and thank you for making your child a part of the arts too.
Yeah, man. All right. Have a good day, man.
All right, and with that, we're going to take a break and come right back right here on the Wake Up Call, all right?